All right, Borderlands 3. Should we talk about it? Should we talk about it?
I don't
That
even know what to say
game.
about it.
Yeah, right. It's been so long.
I know that the issue that I wanted to bring up was having Tannis continue anytime that we came to the ciphers of Typhon de Leon, right? Like she would say the same thing every time.
All right, hang on.
So
hang on.
at least 3 times per section per world.
So, are we starting off with the things we don't like about it?
That's the one thing that I kind of, I just beat the shit out of me as we were. That was. I mean, if that's it.
Yeah, I think there was. It's always indicative of just the way we play together. I think the four of us we talk a lot. When there's just like dialogue over gameplay like that, and you have 4 people and we're all talking, you're just gonna miss stuff. And then yeah, like you said, Tyler, then there's the repetitive crap.
So if it wasn't like voiced over though, we wouldn't read it either.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't read it. I have my voices all turned off.
No, I mean like
she could have
when-
said something different, right? Like she could have said the first couple of times, "You're coming upon the service in Typhon de Leon, the first Vault Hunter." Blah, 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 blah. She could have just said like, "Hey, there's a cipher around."
You know what? Actually, thinking back on it, I don't know if I had that problem, Tiki, of her. Like, there was definitely times where dialogue was going on when I wasn't paying attention because we were all talking. But I don't remember Tannis repeating the same line.
it was every time that you'd touch one of those Typhon de Leon things. It was like part of the recording. But why though? Why
Yeah,
couldn't it
no.
just be the recording?
Sure.
that was my gripe.
All right. Well, before we get to gripes, let's talk about what we liked. Does anyone want to start, or I can start? Who wants to go?
You start.
I'll start. Okay. I think just generally speaking, it feels and plays like a solid Borderlands game. The gunplay is solid. The movement's solid. Like the running around, parkouring and shit is solid. There's a bunch of new vehicles flying around the map, but that shit is fun. The character classes are all new, interesting, well built out. With it seemed like I can't speak to your guys' characters, but my character had 3 pretty unique play styles. It's just it felt like a good Borderlands game.
Yeah, totally. Better. I think that this was like the gameplay was better. The driving was better. My character was better than at least the last 2 Borderlands. Like maybe this is as good as the first one.
Like apart from bugs, it was much smoother. Just in terms of playing, there was a lot of quality of life improvements as opposed to, especially at least one for sure.
Yeah. Also, the last 2 Borderlands games, it's all on Pandora. This one we actually went to 4 different planets, so I really appreciated that a lot. Yeah, Pandora, I feel like at the beginning, we spent enough time on Pandora for it to be nostalgic, but we left before it became like, oh, well, I've played 2 games on Pandora already.
Yeah.
And then we ended on Pandora, which felt apropos to the narrative.
Starting on Pandora and then ending Pandora.
Yeah, circle jerk. You know how much I like that shit, Tiki.
I enjoyed the gunplay. I also enjoyed. I didn't play any of the other talent trees. I only stuck with the one that I went with. But supercharging my pet and then having my pet shred stuff was pretty awesome.
Although, yeah, it was fun seeing your beefed up pet mauling people. Although I put so many bullets into the what are they called? The little dog, the dog one you used for a while.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my god, what are they called? Trag, skag. There we go. He made me fill up my pants sometimes.
Yeah. The other pets also. I mean, they didn't feel quite as good as the skag did. Like the skag felt really nice. Actually, was it the skag? Yeah, no, it was because the spider ant bugged the first week we played, so I couldn't use the spider ant whatsoever. It would just stay in one spot and not do anything. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the monkey too, right?
The game was full of bugs, honestly. So.
Yeah. But well, I mean, once they patched all that out, it was a lot better. But it still felt like the spider ant didn't do what it was advertised to do. So the skag, but the skag worked awesome.
Skags. Yeah. Going back to the planets, my favorite planet was. I'm curious to hear about your guys too. My favorite was Promethea, the sort of war-torn cityscape.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot too because there was like fighting the Malawan guys felt better than like fighting psychos and stuff.
Sure, yeah, they felt a little more competent, a little more dangerous. Also, you had to switch up your, and I feel like this game in general did a better job of that. Like, you had to be a little more tactical in like what kinds of guns you used. I never felt like you had to really do that in the last two, although maybe it's been so long since I played them. But I ended up getting to the point where I was like, okay, shields. All right, I have my shield gun, and then I have my, armor. Okay, here's my corrosive gun. It's like,
you almost had to, and it felt better because, in the other two, like, how many times did you need electricity to break shields? Not very often.
I can't remember,
So it wasn't even necessary to really have those electric guns or whatever. And for this one, like the elemental stuff really played a big part of it.
Yeah,
because you didn't have like the corrosive stuff to knock down some of those armored ones. Like it took a while.
Yeah, it felt bullet spongy unless you were using the appropriate element, which is, I think, the intention. It worked.
Yeah.
Athena's, that's the planet that
like the Japanese kind of.
Yeah, it had like that Asian theme. Yeah. I liked that place a lot, and that's where we ran into what is her name? The Maya? No, the siren. The siren who died. I think her name is Maya, right? Maya.
And Maya died. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that planet a lot, but it was very short. It was. I wonder if there was some cut content going on there because Pandora is giant, Promethea is giant, Eden 6 is giant, Athena's is like 6 quests. I think we were in and out of there in like a play session or two.
Yeah, and then we didn't
felt
go
very
back.
linear.
Yeah, which linear is okay sometimes, but we were sort of advertised 4 whole worlds, and it feels like we got 3 worlds, and a little tiny zone.
Yeah.
The last one was Eden 6, which is like the swampy sort of jungle world, but it's also got hills too. Felt pretty lawless, untamed. I like that. I really have no complaints about any of the worlds except Athena's being too small.
Yeah, and they're colorful and fun, and it was cool to see different kinds of like architecture. Creates a little bit of like cultural.
Yeah, no, a good diversion from Pandora, which is just all wasteland.
Yeah. What about like the weapons and grenades and stuff? Skills.
I eventually got a legendary grenade halfway through the game. That was the thing that shot a bunch of Merv homing things that had frost beams coming out at everybody. I never needed another grenade again because that was just so. Even though the grenades, as we continued to go on, did no damage, they still froze everybody.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, some of the combinations can lead to like that broke all grenades. Like I just threw one grenade and 4 or 5 enemies would get frozen and I could just mow them all down.
Yeah, I had a grenade kind of like that. It was like a corrosive thing that once it popped, it spawned into like 4 different things, and then they all popped and spawned into 4 different things. So it looked like this big, just corrosive, exploding rainstorm.
I wish there was a little bit more, like, because they had so many, especially for the grenades, they had so many like tags for what all of them did. I don't think I saw anywhere in the game, and I mean, I might not have looked hard enough to see what those tags actually meant and how they affected how the grenades worked. You just kind of had to intuit some of them. Like there was like the Merv tag and the nuke tag. So you had to intuit some of those. I wish that there was a little bit more, like a ways that I could try to like min-max what I wanted the grenades to do so I could figure out what the tags meant. Because there were a couple of them that I'm like, I kind of want to try this. It looks really cool. And then I tried and I kind of wouldn't either wouldn't understand what happened or not know how to utilize them correctly because all the tags were there.
Sure. Going back to the guns, I liked how much diversity there was in the guns, but I will say I didn't run into any guns that really stood out, kind of like in the other games. Like Zay, I know you like to bring up all the time the singing gun.
Yeah, I need it.
Yeah, I didn't. Granted, I spent a lot of time in the mech, so that's a little different for me, I guess. But I feel like there's definitely a lot of guns, but none that I ran into were particularly special. It just kind of always felt like upgrading.
There's that one gun that had the big blue balls that everyone got from a quest.
Sure.
And I don't know if I ever found a grenade that I liked. Not really.
Sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And also, you get that last weapon slot so late in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get your... God, I don't even remember what it's called now. Like your Ankh?
Relic.
Relic. There you go. You get that like 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the game.
That's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah.
And you also get those before you... Like, they start dropping for you before you get that level.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder maybe if we... I don't know, if we were really behind on the main story or something. Like, because there was, up until the very end, we were, doing all the side quests before the main mission, So maybe I don't know. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that, how we started getting relic drops, like, many levels before our relic slot even unlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually the way I play games is, anything that has like an inventory where you're having your equipment, stuff like that. I want to get all those things filled first, and then I try to upgrade them all.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt weird to just
get all your
have
stuff
that I couldn't equip.
So then, Tiki, how would you rate the vending machine part of the game?
Vending machine simulator.
To be honest,
Yeah.
you guys didn't really look through them, and I mean, maybe you did, but I mean, I was always looking for the gun of the day, the shield of the day, right? The deal ones, and some of them were okay. Some of them I actually used, not for an extremely long period of time, but I bought a couple of them and I used them, and they were fun.
I used them until I found the next vending machine.
That and, selling all my stuff allowed me to upgrade my my inventory, so I could carry a lot more stuff, so I could sell a lot more stuff. It allowed me to be my pack rat self and do the Skyrim thing where we go into a dungeon, collect all the weapons, and walk
Get all
out
the
with a giant
potatoes.
sack and sell all the money.
Fuck. What else? Okay, so boss fights in general I thought were pretty strong. There was the dubstep boss fight at the very beginning, very memorable. Katagawa fight, Katagawa's balls, the massive Vault Guardians, Troy and Tyrene. I thought they were all very, pretty interesting, had their own special mechanics. It almost kind of felt like like WoW boss fights back in the day where you're fighting the boss, you kind of get your ass kicked for a little bit until you figure out what the mechanics are, and then you start, oh, okay, I have to do this. All right.
And then there's phases.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
It's good.
My personal favorite, I think, is just the dubstep one at the beginning, just because it was so ridiculous.
So
or when we were fighting the big robot towards the end that Tannis ends up coming out of, or ends up killing. Sorry, spoilers. There'll be a spoiler tag. Don't worry. It was like the big skull with like robot arms, and then at the end when the two guys came out, we just like touched them and they blew up.
It was the Penn and Teller parody guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I remember that shit. I mean, they did come back with their sense of humor too. They had their maybe not quite the level of Borderlands 2, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's all the stuff that I really liked about the game. Do you guys have anything else to add? Max,
I really liked my character a lot. She was really fun to play. It was fun to play melee with her. Had the urge to melee, even if that wasn't like my tree that I went into. Just because it was awesome. She was awesome.
It seems like a lot of your special abilities were built around melee as well. Am I right? I know you could switch them out.
Kind of. There's like there's a couple mid-range. One definitely melee.
Hammer down.
One mid-range, and I think one is like just elemental. So kind of like however you want to do it.
Yeah, I really liked my character a lot. She felt like the Gunzerker in many ways. Yeah, the only thing that sort of sucked about her was like when you're in the mech, your weapons, that's probably why I felt a little dissonant, I think, with the guns, because I didn't use them that much, and I went the cooldown build, so I was like in my mech all the time. Shit. How did you guys like your characters?
I enjoyed mine quite a bit. It sucks that you guys didn't get to hear a lot of the very dry humor that the robot had.
Mm-hmm. You
Like,
hear it sometimes, yeah. Like sometimes, if you were like the guy who talked to the quest giver or whatever, or the quest person.
Yeah. There was one in particular that he would usually say as we were about to kill something, and he would go, "You there? How are your last breaths going?" Which was that was very funny. I like that.
Max?
He's fine. He's a different playstyle than the previous characters I've played, so that was a nice change of pace. Like
Yeah,
the turret that followed me around, and being able to jump around between my clone was. Trading grenades was interesting, like concept.
Yeah, wasn't your character? Yeah, your special abilities work differently from everyone else's, right?
Yeah, I could have two of them, so I could go down. And it sort of encouraged going down two trees,
Mm-hmm.
which made it so I felt like I was behind everybody the entire time because I did
Oh.
that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I do remember like you seem to have like the most issue with your character out of all of us, but I don't want to speak for you. I know you were like trying to do tanky for a while, and that wasn't going well.
Yeah, I don't know. I always have a problem with the guns in the game. Like
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm upgrading to like worse versions of throughout the game. It was better this time than in Borderlands 2, but yeah, I don't know. It was hard to find a niche, and I think my class is meant to be a solo class. It'd be really good to run through the game really quickly, or like whatever else, because I have all the buttons. But playing with synergy, making all the, like having a 4-man group where the stuff's all really hard to kill, like I wasn't doing much. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
I was almost meant to
yeah.
run through them, not fight them.
Yeah, I wonder. You're talking about upgrading to shittier guns. Like, I don't know if it would be good or not to do it in this game, but a lot of games like like RPG games where you're upgrading gear, they let you upgrade. Like, say you have a level 40 gun or whatever, and you're level 60. You're like, oh, I'll pay these resources and upgrade that level 40 gun to level 60.
I would have. Yeah, that would be super helpful in this game.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Although I guess the defense of that would be like, there's so many guns in this game. It's like, deal with it, you'll find something. But yeah, it could be kind of, because I had a few guns like that where, like my build was very good for like AOE damage and explosive damage, but I ended up using like some gray guns that were like inferior but had like high AOE damage. So, but if I ran into a gun that had like really crazy AOE damage, a couple levels later, it's like, oh, I have to give this up now. So yeah, an upgrade feature would be great.
Hot tip, and also something that really impacts gameplay, is to check the Gearbox official Twitter every now and then and get golden keys.
I mean,
every
I got
time you
golden
open
keys and I used them, and I still didn't get shit.
I mean, I got stuff a lot from golden keys. Most of the weapons that I used throughout the game were from golden key boxes. But I'm constantly, like when we're about to play, I check the Twitter and I add and get like 3 keys all over. Yeah. I've opened a lot of boxes.
I wonder if they'll keep doing that going forward. Now that the game's been out for a while. Yeah?
They do. They still give them for the pre-sequel, for Borderlands 2,
Damn.
even Borderlands 1 sometimes.
Okay, all right. Good tip, pro hot tip.
Yeah.
Hot pro tip?
Also, during the holidays, they had skins that they gave away.
Yeah, I liked it. But I do have some issues with it, which is what leads us to this. Actually, hang on. Before I talk about that, you guys need to meet me back in Sanctuary.
I don't know if my computer will work, but I'll try.
Oh, we're playing?
No, we're not playing. Fuck.
What?
Too much meeting back at Sanctuary. Oh, you've done this thing.
He's trolling again.
Oh.
He got me. Yeah.
You got me too.
Fuck. Apparently, it's been a while, guys. You're a little numb to my sarcasm. The meeting back in Sanctuary, especially when you're like balls deep somewhere and there's a bunch of side quests to do around there, drove me crazy. I don't know. That might just be me, but every time Tanis was like, "Meet me back in the lab," I wanted to strangle her. Nicely.
We didn't go back to the same place often. We could have just stayed and done all the side quests and then gone back to Sanctuary like later.
I know. Okay, so that's just me. That's just me bitching. What do you guys got? Cons. What didn't you like? What rep you? What really grinded your gears?
One of the things that I
telling me about that stupid thing type into Leon. Alright, I'm done. You go.
There are things that just felt like they were put in for no reason at all, like the room decoration. Like what? I guess it's kind of like a fun little thing, and it's fun that each character has their own room. But why? What is? It didn't do anything in the end, and it just kind of feels like I don't know.
Like you want them to give you buffs or something? Like
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe make the room decorations like stick.
it's true. You had to redo it every time.
You had to redo it every time.
Really?
It's not like you just got to hang them on the wall. You didn't really get to like change your room at all. Like they had potential to do a cool little thing there, and it's just feels like an afterthought.
It was like they're trying to check a box. Customizable rooms. Yep, we got it.
Yeah, I didn't fuck around with my room that much, but yeah, that if that mattered to me, that would be annoying.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but why are they trying to make it matter when it doesn't? I don't know.
Why are they adding that when my key problem? All the bugs. All
Sure.
these games still being released with bugs. I mean, I still can't drive a car in that game right now because of a bug.
Yeah, or you can't if you're not the host. Is that right?
Yeah, if you're not the host,
You
like
fucking swerve.
yeah, it swerves.
So-
It's like I'm drunk. It's fucking stupid. That shouldn't be in the game. We're supposed to be playing it's multiplayer.
Is that still happening?
Yes, it's still happening. Last time we played, it was still happening. I'm
Well,
not
we
gonna
haven't
watch it
played
right
in
now.
like a month.
Okay, but it takes them 6 months to fix that problem.
Right. I'm just saying.
That's still not an excuse. If it's fixed now or not, it still took them 6 months to do so.
Yeah. Not acceptable. Did you guys run into any other giant bugs? I don't. I ran into a few.
I mean,
silly
The
bugs,
crashing.
but-
I crashed several times, and every time we launched the menu, like frame drop to like 10 frames, if that.
Mhm.
Every time
Oh,
we open the menu.
the non-skippable freaking intro menu.
Oh, that's
Let me skip
incredibly
your
loud.
shit.
Yeah.
Or mute your shit.
Yeah, either way. I mean, preferably skip, but if not skip, mute. Because, yeah, that shit made me fill my pants every time.
Wow.
Just for reference, that type of a thing, like Netflix has just caved to everybody that has been screaming forever to stop having previews automatically play as you're going through titles. So if there's anything that we're learning from that is allow people to skip stuff that they don't want to see. Especially if it's like, hey, you have to watch. We want you to watch this. Like, bitch, I don't want to watch it. It's not an ad because I'm not getting your content for free. I want to watch it, or I want to choose.
Yeah, I mean, this applies to both Netflix and this. Yeah, if you don't let me skip it, then at least don't make it play maximum volume.
Or let it use the settings that I've set inside the game.
Yeah.
There's so many games that it launches at a certain volume and then it turns down as soon as you get into the game because that's how the settings are.
Yeah, or just have a skip intro setting. Yeah.
I think there might be stuff in the background that we're not seeing that we're not able to skip. It might be their way of hiding a load screen
Sure.
or something.
For sure.
But you know,
Yeah. Okay. Tyrene and Troy. I think we've talked about this before. I actually think they're pretty good villains. I like hating them, but their humor just flopped completely for me. And part of it too, as I have a little space from it and thinking about it, I think Handsome Jack is such a good villain that it might be that they're being unfairly compared to him. I don't know. Like maybe Handsome Jack just might be so good that was the new standard, but I don't know. I think it's fair to hold a game to another game in the series. Like, if you're going to give us Handsome Jack, then the next villain should be, equally compelling.
at least it's deep. Like they started making him deep way too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if they would have introduced the father earlier, saying like, "Yeah, my kids are fucking nuts," fine. But they didn't do it until like the very end. It's like, okay, now there's some depth to these characters.
Well,
Whatever, I don't care. I already hate him.
Even then, though, like, yeah, Jack had a whole, like, spurned like revenge thing going on, whereas the twins were just like, we want power for power's sake because power, and we're funny.
No, they were kept prisoners by their parents, so they wanted out.
Yeah,
and then they wanted revenge.
I don't know. I guess then going to what Max says, because you're right, I remember that as you said that, but that came along like so late in the game.
Yeah. I mean, taking them on their own merits, don't even compare them to like Handsome Jack, which is a really good villain from like, they were fine, but they were comically evil, and you can't relate to that. You can't in any way, like, the only thing that you do is just go, well, I can't wait to shoot you in the face. Like,
there's just no depth.
Exactly, right? They're just comically evil. Like, I'm going to do the most evil thing I can possibly do and laugh about it because I have no feelings and nothing. There's no empathy in me whatsoever.
Okay, Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. And I think, ironically, if we had gotten the backstory much earlier, they would have been more relatable, and we would have understood their evil a little more, but still wanted to kill them.
So they are very much, and maybe I'm wrong here, what like an asshole Gen Z is like. I love Generation Z, but like part of what like drives me nuts about them is that they're like the streaming and the social media presence and stuff, and that was really played up. And I did appreciate that about them, especially because it seems like the target audience is no longer us for Borderlands. Like, most people that I've seen that really like it still are younger people. Generation Z.
Yeah, I think
so maybe it was a better villain for them, Sure.
I think that's fair because, yeah, when you look at it, when did Borderlands 2 come out? I mean, like 8 years ago now? So we were kind of, let's see, Borderlands 2. Yeah, 2012. So, I mean, we were young 20s at that point. Max was, I think 11 or something.
Go fuck yourself.
I love you, man. I love you. So, yeah, maybe that complaint is us just being, hey, I like you to the young.
Back in my day, we had
Handsome Jack.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It doesn't change that they didn't have any depth until like the last last hour of the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely valid. But I just think like there was parts of them that maybe we didn't get because we didn't relate.
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, they were not relatable until the last hour and a half, 2 hours. Because until then they were just comically evil. The only time that they ever even showed like a shred of like a genuine human emotion, and it wasn't a good one, it was a bad one, was when they killed Maya. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Right, that was the only time that they but that was them being sadistic.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they're sadistic the entire time.
Can they stop coming for my people?
Yeah, right.
Well, don't worry. They gave you Tannis, though.
I didn't want Tannis. Okay. No one wants Tannis.
I want to transition right there with you saying that, Z, because that sort of brings me to the biggest problem I have with this game. And there is too much while you're away bullshit going on. And on top of that, our characters do not exist in cutscenes. So it almost doesn't even feel like our characters are taking part in this world.
It's true.
There is when you turn in a quest, your character has a special interaction with that person. But
sure.
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't matter because the cutscenes, it's like even if we were in that room at the time of the cutscene, we're not in that room during the cutscene.
Right.
It's like it's not hard. There's only 4 characters in the game. It's not like we can really change our looks that much. Just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that technology to change what your character looks like in a cutscene, basically,
it's 20 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, is it just that it makes you not feel like the hero?
Well,
when you're not involved,
they use it too much. Like the first time it happened was we went into the vault and we came out and then Maya had been killed. Spoiler. And then after that, it became every time we go into a vault, it's like, oh, what happens? It's, oh, and let me guess, Tannis is dead. And then it's like, no, she's not dead. She's abducted though. And it's just like,
yeah, like every time we went into a vault, the twins would show up and do something bad behind our back. It was just a trope that they used over and over and over and over again. Every single time we went into a vault.
You fool me once, right?
And even beyond that, like, again, our characters don't exist in cutscenes. We see nothing of their personality at all in the game. It's not really like we decide who the characters are either. So it's not like in an RPG, you know, where you don't want to like if you're playing like a totally customized character, I could sort of get it because you don't want to spoil what that character is to the player. But all these characters and every playable character in the Borderlands game has their own personality that ends up getting revealed in the sequels. And I was hoping in this game, okay, maybe we're going to get to learn a little bit more about Flak or Mose or what are your guys' names? Amara and Zane. There we go. Maybe we'll get to learn a little bit more of them while we're actually playing this game. And not only did we not get that, but then my issue of they literally don't exist in any cutscenes. And I got a little bit of like Mose's backstory through a couple quest pickups throughout the world, which I thought was really interesting. Would have loved more of that, and it doesn't. You get nothing.
I agree.
So it's like I can't wait till Borderlands 4 to learn about like Mose and Amara and Zane and Flak and what they're actually think about everything that happened in the game we just played with them.
Yeah, I can't wait for Zane to die.
Yeah, probably, right? Oh, no. Zane won't die. Amara will die. Because you gotta kill the lady.
They have to change it. Because it was originally. It was
Roland, I guess.
Roland. Yeah. And then it was Mordecai's bird.
Yeah.
That broke Mordecai. He's a different person now.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a thing I don't like.
Oh, what's up?
So you know that Iridium vending machine?
Mm-hmm.
I hate that it was so tucked away because I couldn't check it, and because I never checked it, like I didn't want to walk all the way down there. I missed deals. Like I never found a weapon from there.
First of all, letting you buy stuff not for your class out of that thing pisses me off. Second of all, everything in Sanctuary pisses me off. I got lost there every single time we played.
Yeah, Sanctuary is a bit of a fucking maze. Like I sort of started to figure it out at the end, but it's like I've already spent 40 hours getting lost here.
I mean, we're in a spaceship. They could have made it all flat for us.
Or
like it didn't need to be that complex.
Even if it wasn't flat, just a straight path to go through all of the levels. So you can get to any level by going down the middle.
Yeah.
All right, I think we all bitched about what we didn't like. So I guess what's the verdict? I mean, I always sort of come back to like, I would rebuy it if I was playing with you guys. And again, it's despite all the flaws, the bugs, sort of the issues I have with the narrative and taking away agency and the main characters not really existing in the main story, and us taking my fault, by the way, 4 months to beat the fucking game and feeling just kind of disconnected from it in general. I still liked it, and I would still rebuy it. But I can't remember if you said you thought it was better than both or just better than one. I still think Borderlands 2 is better. It might be just because it might just be nostalgia now.
I think Borderlands 2 is better. I don't think there's much debate.
Yeah, I think maybe the systems in this game are better, but I think the story is better.
Let me clarify. Better vehicles, better.
Okay, for sure, I agree with
just
that.
Like specking was better. Just the gameplay itself was better, not the story, not the weapons necessarily, or any of like that. Just like how you interact with the game is better.
Got it. Yeah, but I mean, would I rebuy? Yeah. If I had to give like it a letter grade, it'd be like a B minus.
I don't know if I'd spend $60 on it, right? Like it's already gone on sale since.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we spent $100 on it.
Oh, it's because we got
I would buy it again, and I would give it probably a B+.
Yeah, it's always tough making this call because you're going into it with hindsight 2020, right? I think I would still buy it $60, not knowing what lies ahead. Now, would I spend $60 on it? Like, if I could say, hey, give me some money back, I'd probably be like, give me at least $10 back. Give me at least $10 just for sending me back to Sanctuary, you fuck.
I played a lot of the Borderlands by myself in the past, and I don't know if I just
Here's the thing.
like the play style a little bit more, but I would do it.
It's already been on sale at several sites for less than $40.
Woo! Yeah.
Including Epic Games Store.
I would definitely buy it at $40.
So that's my thing, right? I would not sit here and tell you to buy it today. I would say, hey, look at the historic pricing. They've gone down to $40. It's definitely worth $40.
Sure. It would be interesting to play this game, although I guess any Borderlands game follows this rule, to play it solo, because I feel like if I played this solo, ironically, I would have appreciated the story more.
Yes.
Because I always feel like when, I think going forward, ironically, I think we should probably play less story-heavy games, because every time we play a story-heavy game, I'm like, oh, I didn't like it, but it's probably because I missed at least half of it.
Yeah.
Because we're like,
yeah, we do that.
would you rather?
Suck balls.
Okay, moral dilemma. Here we go. Right.
Yeah. I'd rebuy it. Is $60 the right price right now? I think, Max, you make some good points. Definitely don't wait for a sale. But it's still fun, especially you got 3 friends to throw together.
Yeah, I don't think I would buy it if I didn't have friends to play it with, though. I don't think that the gameplay loop is compelling enough to do by yourself, and also it kind of lacks the systems to like have an enjoyable experience for me anyway. Because how if you are not Flack with the ability to drop a healing zone, do you heal people? How do you heal yourself? You get taken down, and then you get a second win by killing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or you get Guardian Angel and you spec for it.
I think most of the characters have some sort of self-healing somewhere for that very reason. But yeah, I mean, it would
Mine
also
was garbage.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. It would suck though to sort of be to feel forced to spec into healing stuff because you were playing by yourself.
Right. I just don't think that it has anything to stand on as a single player experience. It doesn't have enough anyway.
Have you played any of them single player?
I think I played Borderlands 1 with Steve a little bit.
I don't think I've played any of them single player.
Yeah, I played Borderlands 1 single player, and it felt like when we were done, Tiki, and it felt empty. Although again, I remember the story a little more because I was fucking paying attention to it. So
man, I liked playing by myself. Fuck you guys.
You played Killing Floor by yourself, you psycho.
Okay, I tried it by myself.
That's how you know you like playing things by yourself. I'm gonna play Killing Floor alone. I'm gonna play a zombie wave shooter by myself. Ugh.
Yeah, that's some masochistic tendencies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of masochism, we're gonna play Blackout Club next, and yeah, can't wait to
So excited.
fill up my pants. And Zaya, if you need some help, I'll fill up your pants too. Although I have a feeling you'll
Ew.
be able to fill up your pants just fine yourself. So you can fill up your and Max's pants, and then Tiki, I'll fill up my pants for the both of us, and I'll ship it to you.
So,
Borderlands 3, would you buy? Yes, asterisk.
Yes.
Take it slow.
Yes.
Yes, asterisk. Yeah. Take it slow. Angry Porto. Too many goddamn nicknames. Tiki the Taco Man.
Hey.
Maximus Vaginus. Zaya Z.
Bye.
We'll probably not do this ever again. Just kidding. We'll probably do it a few more times this year.
3 more times.
At least 3 more
twice.
times. Twice or 3 more times. Love you all. Peace.
Take it slow.